God and angels are with you every step of the way. Call on them for help when you need it. Never feel alone, sweet souls. And that's what Hey there, sweet souls. How are you? It's your Forest Fairy here. Nice to see you again. Welcome in and welcome back to the 100 Acre Woods, where I read cards out here. So let's read some cards for you, sweet souls. We're going to do a Galactic read, and we're going to start off with the Galactic Heritage Oracle deck and do a 6-card spread. Taking a look at the present moment, the challenge, the opportunity, the energy that's around you, the goal, and some advice. And then we're going to clarify with what I just call my vintage robot deck for more messages, more information, and more clarity on this read. And it's a timeless read, sweet souls, so when it finds you, it was meant to, and it's general. So take it, resonates, and leave the rest. And it's for, I'm just going to say, all the beings in the collective. And these are messages from the Galactic family. So what does the Galactic family, want us to know? The present moment, way showing. The challenge is graduation. We're almost there. The opportunity is self-discipline. The energy that's around us, in balance, in positive polarity. I know that energy very well. The goal is spiritual sovereignty. And the advice, fusion and magic. Bottom of the deck, and that which you might not see, missing link. Let's see what the tarot has, and then we're going to read from the guidebook. Way showing. Clarify way showing. Why is way showing the present moment right there? This is the Strength card. And the Ten of Cups. Or in this deck, the Ten of New Love. In the ancient past, Syrians were conflicted about being leaders or staying hidden. They saw this as an either-or situation. Now that they have evolved, they realize that being a leader is not an aggressive or controlling role. True leaders lead from the heart, and there's that 10 of Cups. And with the Strength card showing up, that is strength and bravery to be a leader. True leaders lead from the heart, without ego, desire, and from a clear sense of inner direction that is aligned with universal consciousness. In the ancient past, you were also conflicted about this issue, but now is the time to release this karmic pattern and no longer have fear of being a leader or a way shower. You do not have to do anything to lead. Simply being is enough. When we see that the tarot is confirming that there are a lot of you watching that are in fact way showers in your own field, in your own family, in your own community, and it is to show the way, to lead the way with the heart, not the ego. And right now the ego has been inflated. Right now the ego tells us and leads with fear instead of the heart leading with love. The heart is that middle out of the 7 chakras. Now I just finished a collective read where they talked about the 12 chakras, but I want to talk about the main 7 that we are all sort of aware of, and the middle being the heart. And if that heart is blocked, if it has been hurt and it has been healed, it was my grandmother that said a healed hurt becomes wisdom, or a healed heart becomes wisdom. It's true. And so with that opening of your heart, that takes bravery, especially if your heart's been broken in any way, shape, or form. With the Strength card, it's holding back that ego and leading with love, 10 of Cups. which leads us to the challenge. I'm kind of excited about this one. Graduation. Earth's history has been fraught with struggles, hatred, and fear. The underlying purpose of this was to serve as training for species evolution. It hasn't been easy. From the viewpoint of the future, humanity has succeeded and experienced a graduation as a species. That is hard to see now. But please trust that everything on Earth is happening for a reason. You and many others are connected to humans from the future who are gently guiding the planet towards this graduation. As you connect with your higher self and your spiritual work, you too help to uplift humanity. And graduation, which is the challenge and can be perceived as very challenging, and that we haven't graduated, is clarified by the Fool. I just am hearing taking a leap in love, like taking a leap of faith and loving, not being fearful. And look at this. This is graduation. This is the World card followed by the Fool. Yeah, we have graduated and we're on to the new world. And not in that fearful dystopian sense, but in a real 5D sense. We have graduated from 3D through 4D into 5. Wow. Okay, so self-discipline. That's pretty clear. Self-discipline is the opportunity. The profound nature of vegan mysticism came from their intense self-discipline. As an example, you see this now in martial arts or meditation practices. Spiritual skills do not develop without this self-discipline and devoted practice. Karmically, many humans now either resist discipline or crave it because of their ancient experiences. What is your pattern? Know that self-discipline is a vital part of spiritual growth, but too much of it creates rigidity. It is important to find the middle ground and use discipline as a tool to further your growth without it becoming a hindrance. And the opportunity is self-discipline, clarified by the Hangman. And the Star. Look at these majors. This is a major shift of perception, and it could be out of fear into love. This is also surrendering maybe to a practice that you kept thinking, kept putting it off. I can speak on this because I have a very quick, fast, and sometimes overactive mind. And so I would think to myself, I can't meditate. I can't quiet my mind. And so I didn't. And then there'd be times that I would either be driving, listening to music, and there would be nothing in my mind. There were times in my youth that I would swim lengths, and I would just keeping count, and then I would lose count, and I would still swim, and there'd be nothing in my mind, and I would think, and then my mind would fire back up and think, am I meditating? The answer was yes. So it does take self-discipline to practice spiritual, let's say, a spiritual practice, a meditative practice, a practice of quieting the mind, quieting the noise. Maybe for some of you getting off social media, stop checking it. We do know, they've admitted, the developers and creators of social media, it is an addicting product, let's just put that way. And so we know it, and yet we still check it. So it might be having self-discipline to pull away from social media, from pulling away from checking. And so with these majors, this is a major opportunity to surrender to healing with the Hangman and Star card. It's also to tap into messages from, let's say, the Galactic family, because that's the read that we are doing, messages from our Galactic family. And so to be able to quiet the noise, quiet your mind, to be able to tap in, to take that leap of faith with the Star card in opening up your heart, 10 of Cups. I know it can be very scary to open up and be vulnerable again if you've been vulnerable and taken advantage of, if you've been manipulated, if your kindness has been taken on or seen as weakness and people take advantage of you. I get it. You sweet empaths. I understand fully and completely. So it's also being discerning as well. But with that Hangman, I don't want you to feel that you can't, because you can. You are a miraculous being, a magical being that can do anything you put your mind to. It starts with thoughts. Thoughts are energy. And so what thoughts are you having? That you can or you can't? Because I know you can. Imbalance in positive polarity. Now, this is very interesting because this is the energy that runs through you. This card represents one of the core lessons of the Palladian people when they were a young species. They had a tendency to push away the negative emotions and only acknowledge the positive in life. In the ancient Palladian history, one of the core lessons of the species had to do with denying the shadow side within. They only wanted to focus on the positive and habitually suppressed their dark aspects. It is important to recognize and embrace all aspects, dark and light. In your life now, try to see where you suppress the darkness inside, such as emotions or pain that you don't want to feel. See it, love it, and dialogue with it. Use it as part of your growth. In doing so, you will heal many old habits and patterns from lifetimes past, on Earth, and from the stars. And we have the star card here. So, imbalance in positive polarity is clarified by the Five of Swords. And the King of Swords. I very much see this, and I guess I'm speaking to, I'm just going to say air moons. All of you with air moons. I do have a Libra moon. I think air moons tend to take a look at emotions logically. I think they use their thoughts, their mind, their logic to win. Five of Swords at all costs, because the Five of Swords is the winning at all costs. But in this deck, I kind of see it as the hand you have in the thoughts, like you control your thoughts. The King of Swords is looking right through that positive polarity, and it feels like determined to see the goodness in everything and to deny the dark. As the card said, this can cause an imbalance where you deny darkness, where you deny the fact that it's a part of each one of us. That's where you can start being judgmental, because when we take a look at the King of Swords and only taking a look at logic and not feeling these dark energies, feelings, emotions, we are not accepting all of us, meaning all of ourselves. And then we tend to judge others that might be going through it, or that might not know how to get out of the dark night. I think the collective is going through a dark night and really seeing what has been hidden. It's through our politics, through our families, through our media. It's getting very dark out there, but it's always been there. It's just been hidden. It's been hidden with, again, I'm feeling this positive polarity where we only take a look at the good and not the truth. The King of Swords is looking at the truth, but with it being Five of Swords, King of Swords, clarifying it, I also see this as the King of Swords not feeling the sadness, the darkness, the fear. I don't know if this is a good or bad thing. And again, I think it's because I have an air moon and I can really take a look at really dark emotions and make logical sense of it. And I guess that's what the card speaks of. This card represents one of the core lessons of the Palladian people when they were a young species. They had a tendency to push away the negative emotions and only acknowledge the positive in life. These unprocessed emotions festered on a collective level, and after millennia, this submerged energy had to be released. This unconscious negative energy created an immune system disease that ravished the Palladian people. No one could find a cure. It wasn't until they sought help from the shamans of their society that they fully understood what was happening. After much inner searching, the shamans realized that the repressed negative energy on a collective level was creating this immune disease. They made many suggestions to release this energy, and eventually the disease disappeared. Humans are genetically most connected to the Pleiadian people, and we have a tendency to do the same thing, to push away our unpleasant emotions and the dark aspects of our psyches. Many of the diseases we face today are because of this repressed emotion. If this card came up in your reading, you most likely had an experience in the Pleiadian system during this era in which this issue of repressed emotions was happening. It is also a message to continue to stay connected to the emotions you are feeling and never push them away. You can write about them or face and embrace them in meditation. And we do have the self-discipline. This could be something that we as a collective are going through right now. It looks to be, with it being the energy that's all around us. If you make a commitment to this process, you will live a happier and healthier and more balanced life. Wow. So that's what our galactic family is encouraging us to do, to take a look at the darkness. It's in our face. We're seeing it every day. Spiritual sovereignty is the goal. Spiritual sovereignty is a place of complete balance. One walks in integrity, has completed unfinished business, confronted and owned the shadow, recognizes illusions, and knows the self intimately without judgment. Yeah, this is the next step after we balance the imbalance of positive polarity. Yes. From here, the person becomes free to feel the flow of the universe, and that is called synchronicity. This is an essential Essassani teaching. Once you are firmly rooted in an open-hearted life based on integrity and synchronicity, you become a fully recognized being. This is a roadmap to awakening for individuals and Earth as a whole. If you haven't already, it is time to begin this spiritual journey. And spiritual sovereignty is clarified by the Four of Lights, Four of Wands, home. I feel feeling home within thyself, feeling whole. And the Ten of Lasers, which is the Ten of Swords. When you do the work, when you put an end to ignoring all parts of you, the darkness, the dark night of the soul, and we're doing this as a collective, this is the goal, to become spiritually sovereign. The Essassani species is a hybrid of human and Zeta, and is highly evolved species, assisting Earth through its transition. Deep within the Essassani collective memory lie the healed lessons of the Zeta, Orion, and human species. Because these lessons were fully integrated, the outcome is a species of pristine consciousness, capable of non-polarized thought. There's that Five of Swords, or the Five of Lasers, the Ten of Lasers right underneath it. And in this Ten of Swords, it's writing a new story. It's writing a story of spiritual sovereignty for the human collective. That's the goal. Yes, indeed. The concept of spiritual sovereignty is described well, but is often a difficult concept for the mind to grasp. The human tendency is to think that something, quote unquote, out there will bring us liberation or awakening, such as a specific meditation or process, or having the right guru. But unless we clearly see the false self, that's that imbalance in positive polarity, unless we see the false self clearly and refuse to live as that illusion, true spiritual freedom will and has eluded us. The Essassani have broken through all illusion and achieved their spiritual sovereignty, and this potential is possible for the humans as well. That's the goal, to see through the illusion and also to see through both light and dark. That's where the breakthrough happens, where you accept, not judge, because then judgment ceases to exist. If you can see it in yourself, then you don't judge others. You just know that they're at a different stage of their spiritual path, of their journey, right? And you can have compassion for them. With understanding comes compassion. So the Four of Lights, which is the Four of Wands, is not holding on. It's celebration. It's celebrating the fact that humans are so close to graduation, so close to feeling whole. And it's by seeing all aspects of humanity, not judging, but healing. Star card, taking a look at darkness from a different perspective, and surrendering to it with the Hangman. Wrapping up this cycle with the Ten of Swords and the World card to then take a leap of faith in spiritual sovereignty, which feels like home. Fusion and magic is the advice. The Orion energy, deeply polarized, went through a dramatic healing process in which those polarities fused together to create a powerful energy that fueled their society's transformation. Whenever two forces collide within us, it creates a process of fusion that releases an intense energy for manifestation. This is the basis of what we call magic. The fusion of two opposite energies that are harnessed and directed in a desired way. This is why it is important to embrace both shadow and light sides within us. We then create magical transformation. Embrace your abilities as a magician. This is the advice, sweet souls. And this is Knight of Swords. It's a unicorn. And the Magician. You can't make this up. The tarot is confirming I think you feel at home as the Magician. I think you will speak, a lot of you will speak on the shadow. Maybe even teach how to, with the Knight of Swords, how you personally got through your dark night, if you've gone through it, how you integrated your shadow side with your light side, how you saw through the polarity. Cease to judge, because when you judge others, you really are judging yourself. There's no judgment here. I've always said that Force Fairy Tarot is a judgment-free zone, so I try really hard. I do really see that positive polarity, because some people would have thought for years I was in a complete delusional state of just optimism and positivity. But behind closed doors and very quietly, I was dealing with a lot of shadow. So I was, in fact, integrating. It's just I didn't put it out there, right? So, the missing link. That's what we might not see. The missing link. What is that missing link? The human race has never truly been alone. Since ancient times, our ET forefathers have been working with us, both genetically and spiritually, to nurture our development as a species. Uplifting a younger species is a natural part of the galactic civilization. You pulled this card because you have past life connections to these ancient projects between humans and ETs. As you explore this connection, you will find that the so-called missing link is not just a genetic reference, but a spiritual one. What has been missing is an understanding of who we are and a place in a vast galactic community. And missing link is clarified by the Knight of Lights, the Knight of Wands. Taking action to find the missing link is what I'm hearing. This card has both literal and symbolic meanings, and how you apply it in your reading depends on the surrounding cards, your life circumstances, and how much you know about your inner self. The card text refers to the genetic projects of the ETs who helped to create the new human beings on Earth, but the energy of this card goes much deeper. What do you feel is missing in your evolution and growth? Is that missing piece an ego desire or a true recognition of the next steps of your spiritual work? That missing piece usually refers to a part of ourselves that we are denying. Yeah. Perhaps you are seeking a more direct connection with your higher self and or the wisdom of the universe, which are really us. It's us anyways. We are all part of source, part of the divine, part of consciousness. And so when we deny others. And again, I think it's very difficult for humans, a lot of the humans now, to accept the darkness that is being shown to us. That's part of the human condition. And once we accept that in ourselves, it helps the collective. Once we do our shadow work of ourselves and get to know ourselves fully and completely, once we bring it all together back to spiritual sovereignty, that's the graduation. That's what's the challenge, is seeing the darkness when really we just want to see the light. After closer examination deep inside yourself, you will find that nothing is ever really missing anyways. If this card comes up in your reading, it may refer to past life during the time of the genetic projects and or karma you took on at this time, but it may also refer to something much deeper. What are you searching for? This card challenges you to answer that question and to look more deeply. You will find it is already within you. There is no searching outside of you, only within. Wow. Let's get an oracle from our galactic family on this to wrap it up. Oh, transparency right there. The energy of transparency supports our expansion towards a higher vibrational state of being with more insight, honesty, and clarity. That's what this whole read is about. I think this is where humanity is. We're right on the cusp of graduation. And there's that heart chakra, like I said at the beginning of the read. The energy of the heart chakra supports our inner guidance system, which is governed by our heart and the capacity to love deeply. 10 of Cups. First card out. Yes, let's get some angel numbers on this. I see, let's do 950. I see 950 right there. The changes that have been occurring have been created and curated by God. Have faith in the bigger picture. There's that hangman and star card. Let's do 104. Let's do 104 and 101 because I see the one with the Magician. 104 and 101. 101. God is within and is listening closely to all of your prayers and intentions. 104. God and angels are with you every step of the way. Call on them for help when you need it. Never feel alone, sweet souls. And that's what I see for you. And I'm sure I'll see you again. Take care. From your Forest Fairy. Bye for now.